All right, we are live. I see we have a nice, healthy audience already. So thanks everybody for tuning in today. I'm super pumped up about this show because, as you can see right there on your screen, we have an incredible lineup of guests. We're going to give about 10 minutes of time to each of these guests, and the reason why they're all together is they are hosting a sound room at the CEDIA show that's going to happen in just a few weeks from now. It's Sound Room 7. If you're attending CEDIA, that's where you can find all of the amazing gear we're talking about today. This is a $1.3 million sound room, which it's like the polar opposite of what we were talking about the other day. Lots of really interesting tech in this room and some new stuff that we've never seen before. So I think we're just going to jump right in with Chris Seymour of Seymour-Screen Excellence. They are the lead on the room. Chris, I just unmuted you. So
excellent. Yes, Todd. Yeah.
Preemptive unmute. Thanks for joining us again. We just saw you the other night.
Absolutely. Super hyped to be here. And by lead, you're not referring to that we're ponying up the $1.3 million for the room.
Yes. I thought it was 2.6.
There's a show discount, especially if you can dismantle the equipment and take it home. So
right.
we will all discount for you.
Awesome.
But no, this is exciting. This is kind of like the, what is the Mount Everest of, home theater that can be done, especially being built in a, say a 3 to 4 day window. We're here to show things that have never been shown before.
Yeah. So we're looking at something right here. This is the MFR, the Multi-Format Retractable Screen System. So I'm first of all, I'm curious why you're going with this particular screen in that room, but then I'd love to hear about how it all works.
Yeah, so I mean, it just looks like a projection screen, which at its core is, but there's some cool stuff going on here that we've never shown before. So this MFR is multi-format retractable, so there is actually going to be masking panels that'll drop down to give us a 16:9 cropped solution, just like about like that.
Yeah.
But we got a patent on this design. So there's some things that we're wanting to show off in how high performing a retractable can actually be. Our patent covers having actual fabric velvet borders around the edges. So it's a pile velvet. And that our velvet, well, especially our velvet, but really any good black velvet's going to be 20 to 30 times darker than any paint you can apply onto a surface. So instead of spray painting a giant shower curtain, we actually take this woven material and we're assembling it with sewing machines. And not only does that velvet on the border perfectly absorb your image and frame it, give you a perceived boost in contrast, which, I mean, the Christie is best in class for contrast, but we're going to show you what those tight edges are going to do. Just like a fixed frame would. So you're not giving anything up in this retractable. And another part of our patent includes that we're able to hide the tab tensioning cables back behind the velvet. So in either of those pictures there, you're going to see a couple little tabs, kind of one at the bottom, one at the top. And then behind that, behind the rest of it is what we call our stealth tab tensioning system. And it's an elastic material that then runs behind that ribbon, so it's continuously tensioned, I guess, in between those points. So that's another point of the patent. So we're going to give a masking screen fixed frame quality, but in a retractable, which will be fun, especially at the show, because we've got some beautiful speakers to show off that they're going to talk to you about later.
For sure. So a couple questions for you. One, obviously, this is an AT screen, correct?
Yeah. We're going to use our lighter Neo material, and this is the ultrafine white material. It was developed with RGB lasers for despeckling, so it absorbs that very well. It's 1.5 dB acoustically transparent, so it's best in class acoustic transparency as well. So our audio friends are happy with that. But then the video folks will be happy that there's no minimum seating distance on this material. There's no visible weave, no visible texture, no visible holes. There's no feature that you can see that would indicate that it's not just a solid screen. In fact, we use this material across mixing consoles, so the engineer's 3 feet from the screen, and it looks completely solid for that person as well.
I still remember you at CEDIA, boy, it must have been about 8-9 years ago, standing outside of a booth with that screen material out in a little mini screen you had built, and you were challenging people to come up.
Right.
And see the, yeah.
My favorite is the
Fantastic.
dealers that, I say, when I'm pitching acoustic transparency as a solution type, I love these dealers that are like, I hate acoustic transparent screen. I hate perf screens. And I agree. I do too. I hate them as well. So, this is the material I put in front of those hands. I say, just give this a chance. It won't do specialty coatings and ALR. And we have different materials for that. It's not the one solution. But in this room, we're going to show it's nearly an ideal room. It's all blacked out. We've got an ideal projection system, with 0 blacks basically. But even in mixed content, when we're going to be lighting up that room with a lot of luminance, we're going to show you what proper framing is going to be and what kind of contrast we can still maintain with that.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see this in action. Is there any movement at all? I mean, you're going to have a lot of subwoofers on the back side of this guy.
There's so many subwoofers. They have to build the room around the subwoofers. It's going to be amazing. I think our record is about 60 kilowatts of subs behind the screens. And in theory, in some test tone situations, they've gotten screens to move, but we've never had an actual in-room case. Now the screen will be mounted on ISO absorbers. So, just as another layer, because, the rooms are rocking. We don't want that screen a knocking.
Right.
So, but we'll see. Fantastic. We'll see if your eyeballs will be moving maybe more than the screen, but it'll be interesting.
When you designed the screen, did you envision it going in more of a traditional media space so somebody can basically have it move up out of the way and disappear? I'm assuming this can be mounted up inside of a ceiling, essentially.
Yeah, it can up into a ceiling, on wall. One popular use is you got your flat panel for daytime use or sports, and you got your speakers around that in the traditional. We'll drop a film screen in front of everything for when it's lights off and you want to watch a real film. So that's
sure.
And you don't have to move your speakers. You don't have to worry about reflections off the panel. We've got a secondary black backing layer that's integrated to it, so you don't have to worry about that. We've had the audiophile applications where maybe they've got 3 identical top tier speakers and they want to look at it, or it's a multi-purpose type room where maybe there's book casing back there and they just want to get it out of the way and open up the rest of that room into kind of a 2-state room solution.
Awesome. Well, Chris, cannot wait to see this in person. Really looking forward to seeing you out there, and thank you so much for taking time out of your day to
absolutely. I'm thankful that you're going to be talking to the partners that are going to pull this off and make it happen, because it's not just one cog in the machine. I think, when you saw me at that show a few years ago, it was my one device, and that's plenty to talk about, but you got to see it in action. How does it work? How's, what madVR going to be doing for the scaling? What are we doing with Panamorph with the lens, and everybody, all of the audio? How's the screen sound? These are questions that this party, I'm glad you're asking them.
Yeah, awesome. All right, Chris. Well, we will definitely look forward to seeing it in action, and we'll see you soon.
You can even help build the room, Todd. I think we've got a tool belt just for you.
I heard a rumor about that.
Yeah, there's a rumor.
It's true. I heard a rumor, though.
We packed your bags.
Fantastic.
All right, thanks, Todd.
Okay, all right. We'll see you soon. Okay, so real quick before we go into our next guest.
Guys, that's real muscle flex here. And, some serious excursion, but that's only about 1/4 of the power right now, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to stand it in the room.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome stuff. And I'd like to introduce you to Jeffrey Heinzel. Everybody that's watched our channel, members of our forum, everybody knows the name, and they've seen you and I have quite a few chats on camera, Jeffrey. But thanks for hopping across the pond digitally here to have a chat about what you guys are bringing into this room.
Thanks, Todd, for having me here. Yes, it's a great opportunity, and we want to show our new creations, of course. Aside from the infrasonic, we have some other really interesting loudspeaker concepts that, we try to develop for certain use cases where a Black Swan wouldn't fit, but the same or better performance would be needed. And I racked my brain how to do that. And the speaker that can definitely match the performance of a Black Swan is called Halo. And we welcome everyone to come and experience it.
Yeah, this, unfortunately, we couldn't source a picture to show everybody today, so you're going to have to wait a couple weeks to see what these guys look like. But they are point source speakers, correct?
Yes, yeah, that's correct. It's a three-way active point source using a 10-inch coaxial mid-range. And then, of course, a 3-inch compression driver with a special designed waveguide. And around the 10-inch, we have then 6 8-inch woofers. And the whole speaker is driven between 600 watt for the tweeter up to 1200 watts. 2 to 2.5 kilowatts for the mid-range, and between 2 and 5 kilowatts for the woofers.
Okay. All individually fed, I'm sure, by your phenomenal gear that you were showing off at ISE.
Yeah, we developed a new ultra low noise amplifier that has very high performance DSP capabilities with what we call not only ultra low noise amplifiers, but also DSP with FIR filter correction, so finite a filter correction which gives a perfectly flat phase and of course frequency response, and hence a perfect impulse response. So this loudspeaker is just using the same technology as the latest development for Black Swans, and has a capability of 136 dB peak.
Oh boy!
Yeah.
Well, you'd need that to match what we're looking at on the screen, right?
Yes, correct.
I mean, we're talking about just gobs of power being tossed into the room, sonically speaking. Now, I'm assuming Halo is meant to be installed between stud bays. Is that how it's designed?
Since it is a loudspeaker that also has a cardioid design, that means we absorb the energy reflected from the back wall and kind of face forward the energy of the loudspeaker. It's a little bit of a different concept of loudspeakers, which is beneficial in some cases. And we've found this technology to be beneficial for us. So yes, this is a design that matches, of course, our high performance subwoofers. We're using, I think, to the best of my knowledge, 16 18-inch subwoofers for the kicks, and 2 64-inch subwoofers for the infrasonic range, which the 2 infrasonics are placed in the back of the room.
Okay.
And we have the 18-inch subwoofers, I think in each corner, 4 pieces, something like that.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of low-end firepower. We're taking a look right here. This is the brand new 64-inch
Yeah.
You're calling it the 64, I believe, correct? The model number?
Yeah. And, you know, it's really interesting. When we talk about a passive subwoofer, people say, oh, there is a passive woofer, there is a woofer behind it. It's just a passive cone. No, it's not a passive cone. We have a 13.5 inch voice coil with a dual voice coil. So it's an inside-outside wind voice coil driven by 2 amplifier channels. Our infrasonic amplifiers, by the way, which are capable of linear 3 hertz all day long. So
Wow.
all of the other
Just
amplifiers that are on the market, they basically sag, and they are not supporting the full power more than a few seconds, maybe a few milliseconds, some of them. So anyway, long story short, there is a lot of energy in the room, and we probably idle the entire system at, I don't know, -15, -20 dB.
Really?
Yeah. So ultra low
fantastic.
distortion. Yeah.
And now, are you sourcing power directly from the Denver power plant? Are you running cables through?
That's a good one. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I can imagine that when these things get going, the lights are going to dim, the roof is going to shake.
True.
Yeah.
All of that is true, but you need that only in very, very large rooms, you know. So as I said, we will probably idle at -15, -20. So most likely the average power we're drawing for the entire system will be maybe 200-300 watts.
Okay.
So only, you know, when there is, of course, some intense sections of the movie clips we're choosing, then there will be probably a few hundred amps peak current, you know, we're drawing from the grid.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, Jeffrey, I know it's late on your end, and we'll let you go, but we're going to dive a lot deeper into all of this tech in just a couple of weeks. Can't wait to see you out in Denver.
Absolutely. Can't wait to be there. See you soon, guys.
All right. Have a great evening. Okay. So next up, we have Jeffrey's partner in crime. I'd like to introduce you to Todd Sutherland of Sutherland AV Marketing. He's the North American distributor for Ascendo here in the United States, obviously, but also Moovia seating, and we're looking at the Marbella right there. Todd, I was so ready to jump the gun and say it properly that
Todd, it's pronounced Marbella. No, I joke. It is Marbella.
I'm like looking at my notes, like, wait a second. Yeah, I mean, you and I had just a fantastic time doing an extensive walk around of the seating offered by this brand at ISE. So everyone out there, if you want to check out in depth what Moovia has to offer, go on our YouTube channel and find the video that we shot, because that was a lot of fun. We saw a lot of the cool technologies that are built into these seats. But why don't you give us a little information about this particular model and why it was chosen to come to this sound room?
Well, thank you. Marbella is one of my favorites. It is, in fact, one of the most popular around the world for Moovia. It is, as you can see, very kind of wide, kind of just out of the gate. This is, you know, what Moovia refers to as a sofa model. There is a chair model as well, so you can put in, for example, you know, sofas. You can mix and match kind of sofas and chairs if you want more arms in, or if you want, you know, more seating within the context of the theater. But this is a super comfortable, you know, chair itself. You can really, as the model is showing you, you can kind of curl your legs up in it. So it's less the traditional, like, this is my 27 inches, don't touch me, this is my movie seat, I don't want anybody else around me, no, you can't have any of my popcorn. This is the family. This is the cuddle kind of furniture, right? And it's super comfortable. much like, my work with Jeffrey and Ascendo is I've been doing this quite a while, in the industry. I always work at the kind of the top tier of manufacturers. And when I sought out partners after starting my own business a number of years ago, Ascendo being one of them, Moovia fits this as well in that it's different. I've been in the industry a long time. I've never seen seating like this. I've never seen a company that really has, in my opinion, kind of covered a lot of the bases. This is not going to be found in every dealer. This is not going to match every price point. What it does offer is a huge range of bespoke options. There's literally almost nothing you can't imagine that Moovia won't build for you. And clients love that. When the answer is yes, it may take a little more time, it may cost you more money, but the answer is going to be yes. Then they love that. And that's including, even if of the hundreds and hundreds of fabric and leather options that Moovia offers, if the designer that's working with a client says, we'd like you to use our material that's being used elsewhere in the home, will you do that? The answer is yes. You send a sample to Moovia, they put it through its paces, the answer is yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be expected at this price point, but that's not often something that you hear when you're buying furniture, right? You're typically given a very limited selection of finishes, and that's what you're walking out the door with.
That's correct. And, let's just say, I think it's pretty common, kind of understanding that the seating space has become quite commoditized. And I like, actually, rather than going down market to match them, I like actually preferring going up market because I like differentiation. Yes, I deal with fewer dealers, fewer designers, and fewer clients. That's okay. I'm not a greedy guy. I don't need to sell to everyone. I just like selling products that are well thought out, that are differentiated in terms of technology. And I like products that stand the test of time. So these are all handmade in Germany, and they last for years and years and years and years. This is not something that you replace in 3 years,
right,
or 5 years, because it no longer serves your purpose, or the material has gotten all wrinkly or worn. This is some of the finest material and craftsmanship in the world, and I'm proud to represent them.
And you're bringing along Italian wool upholstery, correct, to the show?
Correct. It is black, so we're trying to keep the room as dark as possible. I did sneak in a little bit of the walnut kind of wood accent just to kind of show off something different, so all of the seating just didn't disappear. But don't tell the Christie guys that. They're going to want to put black duct tape on my walnut.
That's awesome. Now, we're talking about these will be set up without armrests in between the seats, I'm assuming, for that size room.
That's correct. In this room, and this is not a huge room, even though we're stuffing it with a lot of gear, we're going to have sort of 12 people through a demo at a time. So it is 3 rows of 4 seats. So there are just armrests at the end and then 4 seats across per row. But it's not quite this wide. I did have to shrink the width of the seating elements themselves to accommodate 4 people in the width of one of these sound rooms that we rent. But it's still wider than any theater chair that I'm aware of, and people respond well to sitting in these chairs.
Yeah, it's going to be epic. And I'm looking at my notes here. So 12 seats total, 3 rows.
Correct.
That's
correct.
You'll be able to pack it in. 4. Yeah,
correct.
The tough part
and we'll have other models
is going to be getting people to leave.
True. But I didn't mention there's a secret automation kind of eject button. So at the end of the demo, it kind of just pushes everybody forward. I got in for the next one. Yeah. And we'll have other models for Moovia around the show floor as well.
Okay. Fantastic. And you'll be on the floor for folks to chat with?
Absolutely. I'll be there.
Fantastic. Well, I wish you safe travels. You're coming from Europe this time around, so enjoy that long flight. Hopefully, you get some good food or something tossed your way to make it worth your time.
I'll do my best. Look forward to seeing you. Look forward to seeing everybody. Thanks so very much.
Awesome. All right, Todd. Thanks so much.
Cheers.
Bye. Okay, so that is bringing us to something that we've been talking about just a little bit, mentioning here and there. We have Larry Paul joining us. He's the Executive Director of Technology and Custom Solutions for Christie. Larry, thanks so much for taking time out of your day to hop on today with us. Whoops. Hold on.
There we go.
Unmute.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much for having me. Sorry about that. Thank you very much for having me today. It's great to be participating in this sound room with all these great partners for CEDIA 2025.
So we're looking at a beast of a projector here. And folks, you're looking at this picture and you're thinking, like, how big could this possibly be? Larry, what's the total weight on this guy?
Well, it is not a light little projector. It is designed to be uncompromised for everything else, but it is a 410-pound projector. So it is not a portable little device you throw a handle on for sure. But it is going to be the premiere of our latest Christie Eclipse projector, which we call Eclipse G3, which is our 3rd generation. So
this is the world premiere?
It's the world premiere at CEDIA, so we're very excited about that. I'm looking forward to being in Denver as well in a couple of weeks. We've taken all the technologies we had for our Gen 1 and Gen 2 projectors, we folded it into a new form factor and directly coupled it with the most advanced pure RGB Christie manufactured laser optical systems that we developed for both our cinema line and our non-DCI products. So we've just taken the best of all the latest developments, all the latest technology, coupled it with what we've been developing on Eclipse actually for over 10 years now, and to create truly the ultimate projector as far as contrast, performance, frame rate, everything.
And I'm looking at my notes here. We have a demo screen that's about 15 feet wide. I'm imagining that this guy can light up something much, much larger than that.
Oh, yes, it certainly can. It can also work at the levels that are appropriate for whatever size screen it may be. So the laser illumination system is actually capable with our high contrast or high brightness lenses of up to 30,000 lumens. And by the way, it can maintain that for 50,000 hours.
Wow.
It does not degrade in the first 50,000 hours of illumination life. So we put in a lot of overhead, a lot of room in this product to really optimize it for just long life, durable performance. So yeah, big screens, small screens. What this really does, it's a unique 6 DLP product that really gets us into a real world, actual 20 million to 1 contrast range. So it's really unlike anything else on the market, and we'll deal with the walnut on the chairs. That'll be fine.
Well, I was going to say, if the weight doesn't keep this in somebody's home because they just can't move it, the long life of it, I mean, that's pretty much unheard of. Most products are spec'd out to about 20,000 hours.
Yeah, typically, I mean, we make products that are very long life, and we actually do make things that are designed to work up to 10 years on the original illumination, everything else, but it depends on how bright you're running them. This product is actually unique that it can run even at full tilt for 50,000 hours and maintain that brightness. So obviously, if you're not running it at full tilt, it will last even longer. But yeah, we put all of our best knowledge into making this product with the latest lasers that really do things that are quite unique.
Now, when people hear DLP, a lot of times that immediately brings to mind rainbow effect. Is that the case here with you? Well, why don't I'll let you explain exactly how this is different.
Yeah, definitely not. First of all, the projectors with DLP that may have a rainbow effect are based on single chip DLP projectors. They're designed with a color wheel. There is no color wheel in this product. It is true native red, green, blue illumination with 3 DLP coupled with another 3 DLP. So we're getting the cascade effect and actually creating this 6 DLP. There is no rainbow effect that is visible. It doesn't exist on this platform just because of the way it's designed.
Fantastic. So I know someone out there was thinking that, but I'm glad you could clear that up. So let's just take a look real quick at the side of the projector. I'm not sure if you'd rather look at this image or this image.
We can look at the close one first. That's fine.
Close one first.
So
Do you want to
basically,
just describe what we're looking at here?
Yeah, lots of different inputs. We have 4 12G HDSDI with full-size BNCs. We have an HDMI 2.1. We have DisplayPort 1.4 and 1.2, as well as HDMI 2.0. And we have Christie Link and other inputs, plus 3D sync if you're running a 3D system with active glasses, if that's of interest. We do take all of our controls via the Ethernet port that's right on the projector. Lots of flexibility, lots of functionality, and that's really what we've tried to do, is bring our latest electronics, the ones we just introduced with our Christie Sapphire line. We've also brought those into our Christie Eclipse G3, and just to give the most amount of flexibility and functionality for customers. So
is there one point of connection that's used more than another in your opinion? Like DisplayPort, is that the most common way that it's hooked up, or?
Well, it depends on what market is being used for. If it's used in planetariums and things like that, DisplayPort or HDSDI is pretty common. But for the private venue cinema market that the CEDIA market really is designed for, it is really going to be an HDMI input, whether it's HDMI 2.1 or HDMI 2.0. That's really going to be the most common type of connection that's used for this market.
Let's roll back here real quick. Would you like to talk a little bit about what's going on the right side there?
Sure. On the right side, we actually have our control input electronics. If anyone is familiar with the Christie Griffin or Sapphire or M series, it's the same electronics control that we have. We also, of course, have our own web UI. If you plug in a control via Ethernet, you can log in and actually do all of the things you would do on the physical control panel remotely. So if you're in the room and you're tuning or whatever you may be doing, you have full control of the system, whether you're in the projection booth or you're actually outside the projection booth. So it allows for input switching, color tuning, different inputs, different, all the different functionality that you would expect from a projector.
Yeah, I'm still trying to wrap my head around 30,000 ANSI lumens.
Yeah, it's
the spec. Most people in the world of consumer projection are talking, 2,300, 2,600. They're excited about that. And this is just, it's so many multiples more powerful.
Well, and it doesn't have to be run at that. And usually in a home theater environment, and of course, when you put on the high contrast, the ultra high contrast lenses, you drop down to 20,000 lumens, and then you're not running it necessarily at full tilt because but what it does, it allows for flexibility of screens. So you can have a very dark gain screen to really get the most out of the system, and you can really play with tuning the whole system to really be optimal for your environment. So it's not about running it at 30,000 lumens because that's not what people do in this market. We do sell this into other markets as well. I mean, there may be a large screen in somebody's environment, or it may be a very dark screen that someone's using, and having that extra power allows that extra punch to really be exceptional. But the one thing that's really unique about Christie Eclipse over any other projector, black is black. There is no residual gray level. You don't see that shadow that appears. I mean, and that's really what this product is optimized for, is the whole notion of black being black. And that's what no other projector can really accomplish like this one. And it's not about turning off the light source. That's with the light source on. So you're not just turning it off and doing it for a spec. You're actually doing this. You could have 1 pixel of light that is 20 million times brighter than the black around it. So it's really, it's really optimized for making the best picture that one could have. Lightweight, it's not, but no compromise to the image quality. That's really what we focused on. And we had a lot of engineers over a lot of years really optimizing this product. And the G3 is, we're just really excited about our 3rd generation of products, bringing this out worldwide for the first time to a larger audience.
Well, I can tell you, Dwayne Davis is the calibrator for this system, I believe, correct? Yeah, I was with him a few weeks ago. I was a judge in a TV shootout up in New York City, and he approached me right away, and the smile on his face, he was like, "You're going to CEDIA, right?" I'm like, "Yep,
Yep.
I'll be there." He was like, "Oh, we've got to talk." And he was giving me some details about the G3, and I could just see on his face. And you know, when someone like that, he's been in contact with so many different kinds of displays and projectors, he was just giddy. So
he's the kind of person I really love to get this into the hands of, because when someone like him with all of his experience really gets to play with it and goes, "Oh my God, this actually does what you say it does. This isn't just marketing specs on a piece of paper." You know, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I can't wait to chat with him after. Hopefully, we're lining up a time slot the day after he gets the calibration done, so he and I can dive into some of the nitty gritty of what his eyes were seeing. Because, as you say, you know, he is one of the world experts when it comes to video. So awesome stuff. Well, Larry, thanks so much for hopping on with us today and talking about the G3. I cannot wait to see this guy, let alone coming out of its shipping crate and getting placed, but then seeing it fired up. It's going to be a real treat.
Yeah, my pleasure. I'm really glad you're going to be able to be there, and we're really looking forward to, you know, participating in the sound room. It's going to be a spectacular event, and one of those things you have to see with your eyeballs that you can't just read about on a piece of paper. So, sounds great. Right. Thank you very much.
Awesome. We'll see you there. All right. Safe travels.
Yep. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.
You too. Okay, so yeah, folks, I mean, we're talking about world-class gear from top to bottom, and that brings us to our next guest. We have Sean Kelly. Sean, thanks so much for hopping on with us today to talk about what you guys are bringing into the equation here.
My pleasure.
How's it going?
Thanks for inviting.
Awesome. So I know you've got to be also giddy about your amazing product here being paired up with what could be one of the coolest projectors in the world, right?
Absolutely. I mean, that's the fun part about this room, is the whole is going to be greater than the sum of the parts, and the parts themselves, each one is over the top. So when you add all that together, this is going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of energy, not just, you know, personal energy, not just wattage. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of that as well. But yeah, pairing the two together and showing, you know, anamorphic 240 cinema format content, that's where, at least at Panamorph, we feel the industry is going for a lot of reasons. But I mean, when people want full immersion, the widescreen is what delivers that. Even in a smaller room, the wider screen, you can put a wider screen in a smaller room because you're more height limited in a lot of cases than you are width limited. So, and then, you know, streaming content is going 2.4 as well, a lot of it. And a lot of folks like to watch 16:9 even filling their 2.4 screen with a number of different modes that are all supported by anamorphic projection. So yeah, we're excited about the camaraderie of this whole group getting together and making this thing work and sing well. But we're also excited about where the industry and the business is kind of going. We're seeing a lot of, I mean, this is a really high-end room. But as far as our dealer base, we are seeing more demand for higher-end products. And so that's what this Alpha Pro is about. It's we had the Alpha last year, first lens ever to not have distortion in it. So I mean, distortion was not that big a deal in the past, but I mean, we're always improving things. So last year we had an Alpha for the smaller and mid-range projectors. But yeah, the dealers are saying, what do I do about the monsters out there? And so that's why we came up with the Alpha Pro.
Is this a new launch for the Pro, or relatively new?
It is. It just started shipping a few weeks ago. So yeah.
Wow. That's
it's
awesome.
It's based on our tech from last year. It's just it's much larger.
And when you say larger, can you, as spec wise?
I can't hold one in front, but it's 9 inches deep from back to front.
Oh wow. Okay. So it's got some size to it.
Oh yeah, it's one of the biggest lenses I've ever seen.
Oh, fantastic. Well, first off, I just want to say thank you for kind of bringing to light that you should be putting a CinemaScope screen into your room. That solves that argument for anyone out there that's ever had that argument with me.
Yes.
I'm always like, go
2.4 to 1.
CinemaScope. Yes. Yeah.
2.4 to
241.
is the
Unless you have masking from all sides, I still think that's the best way to go in your home theater room.
And when you have masking, your core is going to be 2.4, and you're going to mask in from that. So,
sure.
Yep. Immersion is what the sound room is about. And it's, yeah, we have a lot of great pieces to the puzzle. But the experience that, the people are going to get in those seats. I'll just have to say one thing though. I haven't proposed to the group yet, but if anybody comes in with a white shirt, we might have to give them a blanket, because contrast and experience and all this type of thing. So, but yeah,
Every seat equipped with a blanket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
That's fantastic. Okay, so this looks like a product that's more or less permanently mounted in front of a projector. Is that true, or does it?
That is correct. It's permanently mounted. That way, your higher performance, the highest performance, is the cinema format content. The films, as well. I mean, everything in Star Wars is 2.4. Even the spin-offs. Yeah, it's meant to permanently convert so that when you calibrate the projection system, it's always calibrated. We don't move the lens out of the way anymore. And in fact, a lot of people do like to fill the 2.4 screen with 16:9, whether it's scaled up, stretched, or cropped, however it is. Immersion is what it's all about. So yeah, keeping the lens in place. The last 10 years, that's what it's all been about. As soon as the awesome image processing can really deliver any format through the lens that you want. So it's really plug and play.
Fantastic. I just want to get on the plane right now and fly out there and see this room. The room that doesn't exist yet, but yeah, fantastic. And you'll be on the show floor in Denver, correct?
Yes. Yeah. We are sharing with Seymour. So 4409 is right across the hall from Sound Room 7. So we have a static demo of the Alpha Pro there as well, and I will be there.
So people can see it, touch it, get a good idea of.
It'll be kind of behind glass, so they can't touch it.
Okay.
But seeing is fine.
But they'll be able to see it, because otherwise, I think in the sound room itself, it's not going to be visible because it will be on the other side of a wall, essentially. Yeah.
Right. It's behind.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, Sean. Well, listen, thank you so much for jumping on here and sharing some details about this product. And I can't wait to interview you on the show floor when we can see this in person. And we'll dive a little bit deeper into kind of how it works and all that kind of fun stuff. Okay. All right. Well, listen, have a great day. Safe travels out to Denver, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Very good, sir. Take care.
Okay. Bye. Okay. So that brings us along to someone who I think might be just a couple miles away from me. And I'm trying to, Rick, I'll let you unmute from your end if you can.
Hey, Todd.
There we go.
How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Doing well. Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
I'm assuming you're in Maryland today, or are you on the road?
I am. I'm picking up an echo, but it's because my window's open and I can hear you from there. So
we're finally talking to each other in the same state that we live in. I mean, anybody who's watched any of our videos, you know that we live just a stone throw away from each other. And Rick, before I forget, I am going to send you an email about October. So the answer to that is definitely a yes. So
awesome. That's
looking
exciting.
forward to that. Yes. Yeah. So I know that you just have got to be salivating. You're watching about, we've got Christie coming in with the G3, Panamorphs jumping in with the Alpha Pro, and then you guys get to be the brains of the the projection operation here. How exciting is this for you?
Oh, it's fantastic. You know, it's a great way to showcase, you know, the Envy's range of being everything from the modest, affordable, all the way up to, you know, the highest end gear in the industry. So it's really a great opportunity for everyone to come out to Sound Room 7 and see the masterpiece that all the partners are so hard working to put together.
It's going to be epic for sure. And I mean, you talk about some of the giants of the industry, and you get to integrate right in with it and really make your product show its strut its stuff, I guess is the best way to put it.
Absolutely.
So what kind of technologies are you looking forward to showing off when it comes to integrating into Sound Room 7?
Yeah, so that's a great question, Todd. So there's a lot of great things that we'll be showing at CEDIA, some for the first time, and so it's really a great opportunity for everyone to experience it. So you know, first and foremost, of course, is our tried and true, world-renowned, patent pending, or I should say patented, HDR dynamic tone mapping. So we're very excited to be combining that with the amazing other products in the video chain. And when you get that amazing side of the audio, it's really fantastic experience. When you know, audio makes the video better, video makes the audio better. You know, it's great for that. We'll also be showcasing the world's first AI-based deinterlacing. We still have a lot of diehard enthusiasts and people, and especially in other parts of the world, broadcast TV is still interlaced, and we still have a lot of people enjoying their older content like concerts on Blu-rays. So that would be really cool. And you know, another interesting fact is controlling the screen masking. And so the NB, for those that may be familiar with it, can control not only screen masking, but also directly control AVRs and displays as well. I think there's maybe close to 50, 70 plus different devices that we integrate and control directly. So there's either no need for a control system if it's not within the budget, or if there is a control system, you can do things like integrate our masking control and display control and AVR control directly through the NB, which can simplify the integration and leaving the control system for some of the other heavy lifting. So in this case,
essentially it just knows what the aspect ratio is coming in, and then it directs the masking to do what it needs to do to make it possible to throw that image, essentially.
Right, exactly. It talks directly to the screens, to the masking system. So like in this case, in Sound Room 7, I believe it'll be kind of a default 2.4 setup. And then they also have the, I believe it's the retractable sides that turn it into 16:9. And so we'll be directly controlling that. And then our bidirectional nonlinear stretch, which is great for both scope screens as well as 16:9 screens, including even TVs. You know, it can take care of reducing black bars without having to zoom or crop any content. And so in this case, you know, for aspect ratios that are in between 16:9 and 2.4, we may be layering in a touch of nonlinear stretch to take care of the differences, you know, with a masking system that controls both. Now, I should also say that in 4409, I believe it is, Seymour will also be demonstrating their 4-way masking control. The MB Core will be controlling that, and that's really slick. I've had a chance to see that demo in action. It's essentially a torture test where there's something like 7 or 8 different aspect ratios from like 133 up to 276 that the Envy will be directly controlling the screen, and they're quick clips, like 3 seconds, 5 seconds in the screen. You see what it is, and then the screen moves to it.
Oh, wow.
Even I think there's going to be a clip too with a aspect ratio change mid movie. So you can see, I invite people to check out. That's going to be really
interesting,
cool thing, but right across the hall.
Because that has become more of a thing in recent years. There's been quite a few films that have a lot of different aspect ratios all smashed together. So that's really interesting that you guys are going to show that off.
Yeah,
Is
there's
there
a
any
lot of ways to
delay?
skin that cat. So
Is there any delay involved, or is it pretty much instantaneous?
well, the MB reports it pretty much instantaneously. There is a little bit of a safety buffer to make sure it's not like a super quick aspect ratio change. And so from the demo I saw, within about a second of the aspect ratio change, the motors start moving right away, and it's from what I saw, it moves very quickly. So it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it working with the MFR screen that Chris is bringing into this room too. That's because it's retractable. You don't often see masking on retractable screens, so that's going to be pretty cool.
Right. Yeah, that's really neat. We also will be showing, we're very committed to user interface, user friendliness. So we will be showing at CEDIA our multilingual menus. So we now have the NB menus. I mean, we've received a lot of accolades and excitement about how easy our menus are to use and operate, and how user friendly the product is. And we're taking that to another level now for our international audience. It's mostly
Fantastic.
a US show, but we do have people from other markets that will be out there and certainly, be able to appreciate that. We're also going to be likely using the geometry correction to perfectly square up the image to the screen. And, especially sometimes on a tight timeline like these shows, you can wind up with a bit of a wonky corner or, something like that. And being able to have a perfectly aligned square edge is great for those like me with high levels of OCD. On a room like this, every single pixel matters, and we want them all in the exact spot. And so it's really a great combination between the lens and between the masking and the MB to have everything just be a perfect fit.
Okay.
I believe that we will also be using probably motion AI in a super light form, to the point where you can't even tell that it is on. But the key benefit there is that it will take care of the HDMI handshakes, making those either eliminating them or making those ultra fast throughout the whole system.
Wow.
So that's good. And there'll be some other goodies there to show. So make sure to come by and check out some other innovations that we're working on. And then, of course, the new dynamic subtitle overlay, which you had a great taste of. And thank you for your terrific coverage from that at our previous show.
Oh, for sure. Very cool. And you can see it right here for anyone out there that has not come in contact with information about this. Rick, why don't you give the quick elevator pitch on what this is, because it's really awesome.
Yeah, thanks, Todd. So dynamic subtitle overlay is our new patent pending technology to reinvent how we display subtitles on the screen. There's lots of studies showing that the huge rise in popularity of subtitles. A lot of people need them, or a lot of people don't want them on, despite needing them, or despite their partner they're watching with wanting them on, because there can be an eyesore. They can be very bright. It can interfere with dynamic contrast. It can also fill a room, especially this audience that we're working with here at CEDIA. A lot of it is about dark theaters, and when you have subtitles that are in dark scene that are glaringly bright, you're flooding the room with light. You've got reflections in the light in the room going back to the screen. And so dynamic subtitle overlay will dynamically adjust the subtitle brightness based on the average picture level of the scene. So in a super dark scene, it will be dimmer but still readable. And on a very bright scene, it may be full brightness, and then the full range in between. And you can also reduce the font size. We have our adaptive color, which has really been a big hit, which matches the color of the subtitles to the tone of the movie.
And you can kind of see that there. I wish I had taken a shot of a different scene where there were more colors in it, so it stood out a little more. But I mean, I loved that aspect about it because it made it disappear. Right? It's not so like in your face.
Right.
That
Yeah,
makes
that's
sense.
the
So my
trick,
little
is
sound
that we
effects.
want it we want it to be
Yeah.
a completely harmonious look, and so that it's there when you want to look down and read it, but it's not there when your eyes are focused on the movie. And
Yeah.
you know, of course, the other huge benefit too is that oftentimes, especially for scope movies on a scope screen, the black bars are either fully or partially in the black bar area, whether that be the top or bottom. And when we talk about subtitles, we generally mean subtitles and closed captioning, basically any text prompts that appear on the screen, and being able to have these move up or down automatically without having to touch any buttons and still enjoying the full size of the image. You know, you don't want to take a 15-foot screen and then have to lose a significant amount of that, you know, due to subtitles. So this gives you kind of your best of both worlds, have everything there all together.
Yeah, that's really, really cool stuff. And I had mentioned to you at Audio Advice Live, this had just happened in my home theater room where I was watching a movie with my daughter. It was a British film, I think, and she requested that the subtitles be turned on so we could, you know, catch everything that was being said, because some of the accents were pretty thick. And the second we put, you know, and this is darkened room, right? Blackout room. And the second we put it on, the subtitles were just too bright. We ended up turning them off because it was so uncomfortable to have them on. So yeah, this technology to the rescue.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. And so I'm not sure if we'll have an opportunity to show that in the theater, you know, because typically the demo clips are all business in these kind of rooms where people come in. Is usually a long line and run that. But if not, we will have our deep dive demo station literally right outside of the room. So, you know, enjoy an amazing experience in Sound Room 7. And then you can just turn right around and come over to the demo station where we'll be demonstrating all these things, including some pretty cool new innovations. And, you know, there's also about another different 15, 18 different displays and booths around CEDIA where you can find the madVR Envy Extreme on display, you know, helping our partners make the most of their presentations and trusting the product to do a great job of showing the best of their best stuff. So we're very appreciative of that, and certainly very happy to be involved in this room. It's an amazing group of partners. Everyone brings a deep value to the room, and together the synergies are fantastic. So it's really an amazing group of partners that we've got here in Sound Room 7.
It's very cool stuff. And you'll have your whole team out in Denver, I'm assuming. Joey will be out there, Joey Peacock and Jason Duskel.
Not the whole team, but we'll have probably 6 or 7 of us out there on the show floor in all sorts of various capacities. You know, we've got a team just there to help support the needs of our partners throughout the show floor. You know, when you have MBs in so many different places, sometimes people would have questions about how to set things up optimally. So we'll be there. We'll be there early, and we're looking forward to being able to make our nice contribution to Sound Room 7 and show what the MV is all about to those who haven't had a chance to experience it yet.
Awesome stuff. So thank you so much for hopping on today to dive a little bit into what you're bringing out there. And of course, we're going to be talking to you. I've got you on my schedule, so we'll dive a little deeper into some of the fun stuff that you guys are bringing to the show floor.
Fantastic.
Okay,
Thank you so much, Todd. Appreciate your time.
All right. Yep. Appreciate your time too, and safe travels out west or Midwest.
Likewise.
I guess. West,
same to you.
Westish. Okay. All right. Take care.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, so that is bringing us to our last partner of the sound room, Matt Trinkline. I think, Matt, you don't need an introduction. So many people know your name at this point out there. But Matt is the regional sales and engineering manager for StormAudio here in North America. Matt, thanks so much for joining us.
No problem, Todd. Thanks for having us on.
Wow. This, you're anchoring this amazing room. I'd like to say saving the best for last, but I think this has pretty much been the best all the way through in so many ways. But yeah, I'm excited to dig in a little bit here and talk to you about what you guys are bringing to the table. I know you have a something you'd like to share in terms of a walkthrough of the sound room. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was going to give everybody a little bit of a teaser of what to expect. Now, obviously, this isn't going to, give you the full sense of weight that this room is going to carry forwards, which we're super excited about. However, it should get everybody pretty excited for what they're going to see moving into it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now.
I'm glad you're doing it from your end. Because I'm not sure if there we go. Okay.
So
fantastic.
This is what you can expect to see as you're walking up and finding us at the beginning of the sound room aisle, from the front right side of the convention center as you go into the show floor. And this is something that was put together for us by a gentleman named Paul McLean. And these are absolutely wonderful. So I wanted to give everybody a just short, quick little tour here. So this has been a mock-up that's been done and allows us to kind of move around the room and see everything that's in place here. So, with all the wonderful partners that we have in the presentation that we put together for this room, this is going to be a 14.18.10 room. As Jeffrey mentioned earlier, we have 16 18-inch woofers in here driving the main kick layer. That's all going to be calibrated with our platform and active room treatment, showing off the beautiful finesse that we can get there and phase alignment and linearity for all of these drivers across every single seat in the house, which is one of the most important things. And you do kind of get a slight view of the LCR channels that are going to be behind here. To get the full thing, you will have to be there in the room. And then what I am probably think everybody will be the most excited about as we go ahead and pan around this room in 360 degrees. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, we need a little intro music here. Oh, God.
When the smoke clears, so to speak.
Wow.
Those are the Titans.
Look at that.
So this is going to be a pretty spectacular demo. We've been, really crossing our T's and dotting all our I's to make sure that this comes out absolutely phenomenal. And the content selection that we have lined up for you guys, I just can't wait to see everybody's face at the end of the demo when they all come out of the room after experiencing this, because it's going to be pretty phenomenal.
Yeah. Quick question for you. In terms of the acoustic panels that Simplified Acoustics is bringing, will they be visible or are they going to be hidden?
They will be visible. We're not doing any kind of, masking or acoustically transparent fabric in the room. So they will be visible hanging on the walls. We don't have them in the renderings here. Just for the time alignment, we had a lot of changes and things that we're going back and forth about in this room to finally get to the wonderful state that we're in now. So we're really excited for this. We've been, like I said, I've been looking very in depth at some of the content that we're talking about using. And I've measured things that has the same amount of energy at 3 hertz in the LFE track as it does at 100 hertz. So
wow.
It should be pretty special.
I know you can't wait to get your hands on tuning that up.
Oh yes.
Can you do me a favor and rotate back around to the front?
Yeah.
Of the room, just because you can kind of get a little glimpse of the LCRs, and they look a lot bigger than I thought they were going to look.
Oh yeah,
they've got some height to them.
Speaker. Yes.
Wow. For some reason, I was imagining something maybe a little bit larger than what's on the wall behind you there.
Oh,
maybe double the size.
These are tiny compared to those. And I mean, you can get, if I rotate my camera here, you get a better view of it compared to me. And these are monsters compared to what I've got in here.
Yeah. Oh boy. It's going to be exciting. Okay, so awesome.
We're thrilled. So this is going to be run on the front end and all the surround on StormAudio processing and amplification. So we've got an Elite 32 both digital AoIP and analog unit running in this room. The LCR and the subwoofer channels are all going to be running over AES 67 through a network that's been provided by Reboot, who's been doing some great work in taking the burden off of dealers on AES 67 deployments and Dante and digital audio networking, because it can be a little bit different of an animal compared to some of the things that we're used to controlling network wise in the theater. So thrilled to have them, providing that for us and taking that burden off of our shoulders. Everything else is going to be driven analog, all of the surrounds fed through, once again, the Elite, using our latest ADEC and also the ESS Hyperstream new DACs that we have that are launched. Those are all standard now in all of our Elite units. So this is the first time we're actually showing those in the United States. So this will be their US debut for the full new layout. Which allows us to do a lot of fun kind of new cool things that we weren't running before. We have the ability to process at a higher channel count. We have the ability to manage a couple speaker channels that we didn't have previously. So we're really looking forwards to be able to display that for everyone.
Wow, it's a lot to unpack. For someone out there who's not familiar with audio over IP or AoIP, can you just briefly explain what it is?
Yeah, so what audio over IP is in AES67 is really what it is. Even if you're talking Dante is just a subset protocol of the AES67 standard. And what that allows us to do is, instead of having all of the analog cables running everywhere, having the different conversion stages between DACs and ADCs and outputs on the processor to amplifier inputs, it allows us to number one, maintain a full digital signal chain for those channels so that you have less percentage of errors based on those transmissions. And it's truer to the fidelity of what we're managing upstream. The Storm does a really fantastic job, thanks to our team in France, at managing asynchronous attenuation all the way through the system. So no matter what, everything is playing back exactly at the correct level that it should be. But really where it takes place in power is a simplification of the system. So as Jeffrey mentioned, we've got, multiple amp channels feeding, each of those LCR speakers, the halos. We have multiple, channels going to each of the woofers here. So that would be a lot to manage, but via AES 67, that all is driven over one Ethernet cable. And so we have everything, designed properly to specs. So there's actually multiple VLANs running in the network just for this one room. So that there's no interference from anything else, or even anything that we'd happen to hop on our access point or anything along those lines. So that makes it really slick and easy for integrators. We do a lot of these deployments nowadays. It's a constant thing that has come up, and it's really the future. We started doing AES 67 output and input processing back in, I think it was the end of 21 or possibly 22. So we've been doing this for a long time now, and it's phenomenal. It works all the time. I run it back and forth in my house. That's how I've been doing some of this comparison data. And it's great. It's bulletproof.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to ask you, is it gaining momentum since 21? Because I know you guys have been talking about it every year for the past few years. Is it kind of like a snowball rolling downhill here?
Oh yeah, significantly. There is a ton of these projects. I mean, I'm working on a project in Florida that's got 3 of our Evo platforms, which is the full digital, so it doesn't do anything analog. It's basically either a 20 or a 32 channel version of an Elite in a smaller form factor, because it doesn't have to supply any of the analog stuff. So I mean, we're doing that with 3 Evos powering 5 different zones of the house, including a huge 11/8/6 theater, a patio, multi-purpose room, a bunch of 2.2 entertainment systems using our Zone 2 functionality. So it's cool, all of the other stuff that this can do, and it has grown a lot. I don't think it's to the same par as the amount of analog systems that we see, but it's definitely no slouch.
Yeah. Got one question for you here. Are you adding target curves to the Storm? Not Dirac.
Possibly. I'm not sure. I mean, it'll be all calibrated to, our house curve that we use for all of our demo systems. So yes, the way that we do the calibration here is the same way that we approach when we do an on-site, which is a full-blown, all the way walkthrough, just like any other professional calibrator. So there would be a manual pre-calibration. We'll layer in the Dirac Lag Active room treatment technology, and then we'll go back through every single channel in the room, which is quite a big feat, and do a post calibration for everything. Just make sure it's perfectly lined up exactly how we want. So
wow,
yes.
Not an easy job for 3 rows of seating, I would imagine.
No, but that's why, we come in with a proper, full-blown kit with, we're going to have 8 mics in the room, running spatial averaging, all class 1, down to really low frequencies. So it should be great.
Awesome. Yeah. Can't wait to see all of this, Matt. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, you'll be there, my friend.
I will be.
Packed. So
it's going to be fun to watch you in action. That's for sure. Really looking forward to it. I really appreciate your time today and running through this. And I hope we'll have a chance for a little more technical chat on the floor at some point during the show. Fantastic. All right, Matt. Well, I know you don't have to travel quite as far as everybody else. Are you flying out to Denver or do you just drive?
I'm flying out. Our preparation for the show actually starts a full week before the show opens. So I will be in Denver Thursday night, and beginning checking on everything. As Todd mentioned, this room actually has to be partially built around some of the stuff that's going in it. So we've been really working with the team that's putting on CEDIA this year. They've been really good in accommodating us with that and helping us work around some of those challenges that we would have otherwise. So,
yeah, cool. Well, good luck, safe travels out there, and look forward to seeing you in Denver.
By all means, can't wait.
All right. Thanks, Matt.
No problem, guys.
All right, folks. So, yeah, we're talking about a whole lot of awesome stuff here. I mean, if you're just hopping in at the end of the show here, I highly recommend heading over to our YouTube channel and giving the beginning of the show a listen or a watch. Lots of interesting talk about the products that are going to be in this amazing sound room. Again, this is valued at about $1.3 million. Probably is a CEDIA record, I'm assuming, at this point. So it's going to be something else. So if you're in CEDIA, this is Sound Room 9. Now I'm forgetting my Sound Room 7. This is Sound Room 7 on the show floor. And I'm sure there's going to be long lines. So you probably want to get over to Sound Room 7 as early in the morning as you can so you can get in and listen to everything that's going on. Sonny wasn't able to join me today. He actually had some tornado activity happening down around his house. He's okay. His house is okay, but sounds like there's some damage to his property. So hopefully next week, I'm not sure if we will still be going forward with our show next week because we had Next Level on last night, but tentatively right now we're set to have Next Level Acoustics on next Tuesday, I believe around 7:00 in the evening. So just stay tuned, head over to the forum, or you can follow me, on social media, and I'll let you know either on the forum or through X or on LinkedIn and those various platforms, whether or not we'll go ahead with that show. But tentatively right now, I think it may be off, but I'm not sure. I need to check in with them and see if they'd like to do another round of live, which I'm totally happy to do. But if not, we'll be catching up with them on the show floor out in Denver. Aside from that, we have a ton of coverage on its way from CEDIA. I think right now I've booked with about 35 different manufacturers to drop in and chat with them. So there's going to be a lot of videos to watch. So if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so and share it with your other home theater friends. And hopefully we'll be able to entertain you for quite a while with what we pick up out at CEDIA. Aside from that, thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you next time on AV Nirvana Live. If you enjoy content like this, hit like, subscribe, and then join the conversation on avnirvana.com.